This week's episode of the Sports Trust Update takes a look at the impact of COVID-19 and how we've all had to very quickly change and adapt our lives during this lockdown period. Our work environment has changed to working from home as all sporting events have either been cancelled or postponed. Athletes have had to find innovative ways to train at home and outdoors when permitted, while corporate South Africa is focused on protecting lives and livelihoods whilst trying to maintain their strategic relationships and contributing to the economy.
We knew about the coronavirus, but it wasn't, such a big thing then because it hadn't affected us yet, as yet. But I think once it started affecting us, and then we were, put into lockdown, and now it affected our training, and at that point there wasn't anything said yet on the Olympics and what was going to happen. So at first I was very anxious, saying quite overwhelmed about everything because at first you think, okay, it's just maybe going to be, it was just supposed to be 3 weeks off.
I didn't really think that we would get to a point where we'll be on a harsh lockdown. I missed going to the track. I missed seeing athletes running around a 400-meter track. I missed having the freedom to decide, I really don't want to do this today and I don't want to do that today. I just got so scared. And just so many things went through my mind, how our country, how is it going to affect, our athletes, our school, just so many things.
It's changed really drastically, for us being artistic gymnasts, where a lot of our training is apparatus specific and based around your apparatus that you use. So your bar, your beam, your floor, your vault. And it's not things that I can necessarily put in the boot of my car and bring home. It's really big, huge pieces of equipment that, so we kind of stuck, and we've brought things home that we can, so just a few of things that can help us with our strength, flexibility and fitness programs, because that's, in a time like this, that's all we can really keep up now.
I think it's no secret that the COVID-19 has definitely presented us all with some challenges. We've, as JGC, done some online classes, so our higher level gymnasts are doing 5 days a week for about 2 hours a day. With the online training, we just don't have all the equipment, but most of the gymnasts before the lockdown happened took home some basic equipment so that they could do some floor bar work and some floor beam work, and then just some mats to be able to do their conditioning and their fitness and their flexibility on.
I need to stick to something that I know, and that is routine. And I need to stick to training and try to supplement my training outside to where I am now. Look around the house, you would be surprised at how innovative you can become when you do not have access to a gym. And big fields where you can run up and down. But find there are things in and around the house that you can do, and you can have a home gym, and you can have the same effect, physically as you can to a gym.
The postponement of the Olympic Games was obviously quite a big disappointment for myself and Caitlin, but I think we're both relieved that it's been postponed and not cancelled. We definitely both understand why it needed to be done, and I think considering that we are still in lockdown and that we haven't been able to train for 50 days, there really was not going to be any way that we'd be ready for the Olympics in July this year. So it just basically means that we're changing our plan and that everything is being pushed back by a year. We're hoping that we would be back in the gym quite soon.
Kind of just take it as it comes, each day as it comes, and don't, set expectations in your brain, about when you're going to get back and what it's going to be like when you get back. You kind of just focus on what you can focus on now, which is, like I said, keeping up your strength, keeping up your flexibility, keeping up your mental health, because, that's it's a big part in all of this now, being stuck at home and not being able to see each other takes, I think, a big toll on your mental.
All these stakeholders involved with the various sporting codes have had to amend their plans, preparations, and approaches on how to cope under the current circumstances. The reality is, it is now business unusual as some sports take to the virtual stage. Companies are assisting those in need through their various initiatives and making donations where needed to support those communities in need.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, once the virus became serious, everything in my life was affected, as with everybody in South Africa. So many things came to an lockdown in our houses, a very tough lockdown. Well, I think it's going to impact our lives, everything forever. There'll be certain behavioral change. I mean, to give you a good example, I remember after 9/11, suddenly after 9/11, when you went to the airport, there was more intense security. Suddenly you had to not take liquids on an international flight and all those kinds of things, which had never happened before. I think it will be the same. And I think in sport, there will be things that we can't even think of now that will become second nature to us. In the end, sport will have to return. We'll have to get back to playing, and contact sports like rugby and football will remain contact sports. Runners running breathe hard and they cough and they spit, and you can't stop doing that when they're running a race. So those things will happen. Just think there will be things we haven't even thought of that will become second nature. Like maybe when you cross the line and you've won the gold medal, you don't turn around and you hug the silver medalist. You bump elbows.
It's been quite an unsettling thing. I think all the unsurety and uncertainty of what's happening, I think that really took its toll. And also from a work and family life, I think there were quite a number of big disruptions. So it's been particularly tough. But I have found myself in a position where I'm a leader and I'm a father, and I've really tried to be someone that other people can rely on over this period. Of course, sponsorship is something that we view from a very, very strategic point of view. And I think that as a first principle is quite important. The decades-long relationships that we have with Cricket SA, SARU and SAFA mean that we view these relationships through a very long-term and strategic lens. And our principle has been, how can we help them and how can we support each other and act in the best interest for our business, but also for the development of sport and the fans. I think in the medium term, we as a business are trying to do whatever we can to protect the lives and the livelihoods of people. We produced 100,000 bottles of sanitizer using our beer process. We used recycled crates to make face shields. We delivered food to 17,000 taverns across the country. We launched a fund to help save restaurants. We also launched a WhatsApp line against gender-based violence through the No Excuse movement, which received 5,000 texts in the first week. So we've been really, really busy. Also through the Sports Trust, we've recently completed the work of the 3 multi-sport facilities. So I think there's things that we're doing in the short and medium term to try and help the situation. But then there's also planning for how do we live with this pandemic.
On the 8th of March 2020, these learners took part in the Cape Town Cycle Tour, the ultimate race, worked hard, looked very forward to it, and completed the event. But little did they know that their lives would be drastically changed in the following weeks due to COVID-19 and the lockdown period. They have been supported on a daily basis by the Sports Trust via social media videos, the daily WhatsApp group, which has allowed us to stay in touch and keep them motivated to stay fit. They have also used some innovative methods to keep training. This time has also highlighted some pitfalls, being lack of funds to buy data in order to stay connected, as well as lack of food from the regular school feeding schemes that some learners rely on, and the hardships they are experiencing, which the Sports Trust is also addressing during this time.
We cyclists, and me personally, I've got a passion for the sport. I ride like about 500 kilometers a week. And and also financially, it also curbs you to earning money and having an income. And those who are dependent on you and so on, it affects everybody around you, to fix their lives,
Without the necessary devices and like data or laptop, but I managed to cope and do my part to achieve my goals and stuff like that. And the training, balancing training.
I had a program that I worked on before lockdown. That I rode on the road, like went out to train on. That was 12 hours per week. So I had to split it between the days of the week. So I had to do like 3 hours on a day, maybe 2, sometimes I do 1 hour. So 1.5 hours. So just to get into the 14 or maybe 13 hours for the day.
During the last 8-9 weeks, the young cyclists have had to be motivated, they've had to be led, they've had to be trained, and at the same time they've had to learn to train and change their lives accordingly. Through the process of social media, the Sports Trust have been able to keep in contact with majority of the young cyclists on a daily basis. Through this process, we've been able to give them training tips, motivate them, lifestyle tips, and generally support the young cyclists in their daily hardships.
I had to work out at home, and I took my indoor trainer. I placed on a pallet, we put on like stock and stuff pallet, placed on there, set my bike on, and I made myself like a gazebo thing in the yard, and I trained.
Encourage the boys and give them tips what they can do to stay active. And then also they have been training on indoor trainers, etc. So they've been quite busy. They've been fairly busy. It's not like they just laid flat down and didn't do anything about it, you know.
My most innovative was respraying my bike, doing it all on my own. The actually result made me super proud of myself because I could see what I could do in my free time.
It's just great being here, being with the program, because anything you need, you should just ask, because they're really supportive. They see needs and help you with your needs if you need something. And it's not only with cycling and stuff, there's a lot of other things that they also trying to help you with. Some people might not see it, but there is a lot of benefits within this program. Some people got sent away to go do specific stuff. If you want to become something, you should just ask the people in charge for help, and they will help you there.
Nutrition is a major problem in a lot of the communities. The main meal of the day is actually from the school, from the feeding scheme. And so over the last few weeks, the young cyclists have not been able to have their daily nutritional food or nourishment that they've needed. And so the Sports Trust, in partnership with Nedbank, have taken the decision that some of the funding that is to be used for cycling be put towards food hampers and assisting the cyclists in the development cycling program. These homes that they come from are not all able to give the kids a healthy meal daily.
The Sports Trust remains committed to addressing the needs in the communities in which we work in a holistic manner. There is a constant need for collaboration and partnership with all our stakeholders, which is paramount to ensure that these investments deliver tangible results. We call on all corporates, donors, and funders to partner with us to continue to bring hope, belief, possibilities, access, opportunities, and developmental programs to the youth and our future leaders.